All right, you lovely lot. Good afternoon. It is Emma and Kaz. We're just dropping in today for a quick chat about all things energy work, what Kaz is up to, what she does, her experience with it, how she got where she is today, and maybe a few things that might be of interest to you that she's offering as well. So we're just going to have a nice organic chit chat and drop in and let us know. You might be watching this on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. Feel free to pop the comments below. If we don't see them right now and come back to you, absolutely we'll come back to you afterwards and drop in and answer anything that you've got to ask. So, Kaz, it's great to have you on.
Yeah, it's lovely to catch up.
Yeah, it is. Do you want to tell everybody what you do? And I know you don't, titles wise, it doesn't matter, but do you want to tell everybody kind of what Urban Zen is, what you offer, and just a little bit about you and what you do?
Yeah, I'm just laughing because when you said that about the titles, I was just thinking, how many years have I had this conversation with Emma about what do I need to call myself? This is crazy. I don't know what it is. But yeah, I'm a Reiki, I teach Reiki Sakim and intuitive card reading.
Mm,
Um, Obviously I offer those as services as well.
yeah.
I do a lot of work with Psyche, which works with subconscious beliefs.
Mm,
Um, Family constellations, which is you can get a lot of the same sort of information about about beliefs that you're holding,
yeah.
but the secret of it is like it might be stuff you never know, or you might never know, but it's the inherited stuff, the
Yeah.
intergenerational beliefs. So that's really great.
Yeah.
So I work a lot with energy, with inner dance and sound and frequency and how that all moves through the body and how it can shift the emotions and all of that.
Yeah.
Ayurveda, modern Ayurveda. So that's
Forgot about
traditional. Yeah. It's like the traditional Ayurveda, but also like for these times because
wow.
we don't have the same soil, we don't have the same
Mhm.
lifestyle. Like everything's moving quicker than what we can catch up with. So it's how we can
Yeah.
hack back into that for modern life, how we can resync with the seasons and the cycles so that we can flow a lot better.
Yeah.
Um, and then I run retreats. So I have. I know.
I was so excited because I'm going in
Mhm.
November. So excited for that. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it is. And I don't know what it is about this one. It just feels I mean, everyone's completely different
Yeah.
and completely brilliant, and it's always exactly the right people that are meant to be there.
Mm.
Um, and there's something about this one, I don't know what it is, but I'm just super fizzy inside about it. It
Okay.
just feels like it's
Nice.
just a great group of people that are booked so far.
Yeah.
So anyway, this Elevation Soul Sanctuary came about because um I've done a lot of work. Life happens. There's a lot of stuff goes on, and you start on this journey and you do all of this work. And I'd been to a couple of Dr. Joe Dispenza's
Yeah.
week-long retreats,
Yeah.
and what was really great about them was having that time away from your everyday environment
Mm.
to really like focus on yourself. And I loved all that, and it had a really great impact. Like it totally changed my life. But what I noticed was there was a huge bit missing in that when you return to everyday life,
Yeah.
what happens then when you're not around those people?
Yeah.
And also, there was something in there around sustaining that because it's great being in the energy of being this person, this version of you that you want to be.
Yeah.
But actually, there wasn't really acknowledgement of who you have been up until that point.
Yeah.
So there was kind of a lack of safety there for me, a little bit of personally, just a little bit of like, well, what happens to the rest of it? So
Yeah.
kind of had to go a bit deeper and do a bit more of my own work um, because yeah, there's something really important about having sanctuary for me, having safety.
Yeah.
Um, And I mean, I trained in EFT years ago and never like got the certification stuff done. And I remember I spoke to you, God, that must be about 8 years ago now, when you met at one of Kate's things.
A long time.
And I was like, yeah, I need to do it. And then I think just seeing the way that you do things as well, and having that connection
Mm,
where you are all about the safety
yeah,
and all about that's got to be the foundation for me. So I'm really pleased to be retraining and doing that with you now.
yeah.
um, because it's that's what's missing, I think,
Mm,
from a lot of things, is the recalibration and the nervous system work, and the
mm,
feeling like not really feeling like there's anything wrong with you. I think
yeah,
that's what's happened, is people have gone on like it's almost like an addiction
yeah,
to to kind of fix yourself or to heal something.
yeah.
But there's something beautiful about, I think, remembering that actually it's okay to just be human.
Yeah. Yeah, we're stuck in a meat suit in the 3D, right? Yes, okay,
Yeah,
we're all these, you've got a soul and we can ascend and we can get into different realms and we can live in the top chakras. But when you live in the 3D, you have to be able to work those lower three and connect with the heart. You have to be able to make stuff happen. And I think these days, a lot of the stuff that's happened, a lot of the trauma, a lot of the way we live and the way that we've been kind of like taught to outsource our own inner knowledge, it pushes a lot of people to live in the upper three. And
yeah,
so we're kind of disconnected from this 3D reality that we live in. And it's like, well, if I just stay up here, healing and learning. Hey, Caroline, nice to see you. Healing and learning and taking courses and fixing things, then maybe things will come together. But actually, we're not robots, and we're also not, up in the astral realms all the time right now. We have to deal with what's in the 3D. And the key to that is nervous system safety. Because without that, everything just goes to shit, quite frankly. Like you
yeah,
can't, and I see so many people as well tearing in. I'm not getting personal about anybody in particular, but I see so many people tearing in and doing certain tools that are brilliant and only maybe a portion of what's needed. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, but there's bits, it needs to be like an end-to-end thing so that people, because it's so easy to re-traumatize somebody these days and to just dump them in the deep end of their emotional swimming pool, if you like, and for them to just go, oh, I can't do this, right? And
yeah.
then they're never going to come back to it. They're
Hmm.
always going to think that exploring stuff is unsafe. So I love
Yeah,
what you said about safety and sanctuary.
yeah,
It's really nice. I think that's what, appealed to me. I've been meaning to go on one of your retreats for years. And so for me to be able to do that as well, I'm really looking forward to it, because when you are, I suppose, a leader of a community and you're the teacher, if you like, it's actually really hard to then find somewhere that feels like safety and sanctuary to you, because you're usually the one leading and holding space for others. So I can't wait for that. It's going to be
yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what's very different about the sanctuary, is that I didn't set it up. I mean, this has evolved over the years as well, because you go into it with an idea of how it's going to be, and things are always changing, and and you learn more as you go. And what was really interesting is that it's like the idea of it was that people will come and there's no hierarchy, there's no leadership. We've
Mm,
all, if we believe in the sense of wholeness
mm,
and everybody having something to contribute to humanity, then that should be in all spaces. So it's not that I know anything, I'm nobody's guru, I don't know more than anybody else.
mm,
But what the idea is, like, everybody just brings all parts of them,
yeah.
and between the group, there's got to be so much knowledge and wisdom that's there. And you take what fits for you, obviously.
Mm,
Um, it at your core, you take what feels true to you.
mm,
But the idea is that everybody contributes. But it's my role to kind of hold that space. And
mm,
that was something that I actually quite struggled with. A couple of, probably about 18 months ago, I went on holiday with Graham, and I was just like, I was absolutely loved what I was doing, but there was something that there was this real struggle because it felt like in some cases I had to step more into that being a leader,
Mm.
even though I don't particularly want to be a leader.
Yeah.
So, in the way of, I've got no authority over you. Like, you are totally autonomous. You are responsible for yourself.
Yeah.
But I really struggled with, oh, I'm going to have to really set some boundaries here,
Good.
because and doing all of this nervous system work,
Yeah.
it just got to a point, and sometimes you can't see your own stuff.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I got to a point, I was like, hang on, I'm going really into phone a lot of the time here.
right.
I'm trying to make things okay for everybody else. And
Mm.
it ended up where I was on holiday with Graham in Tenerife, and I just basically cried in the sun for the full week. Just lay on the sun lounge, like, oh, this is, but it was great and it was needed, because I kind of hit that point where I was like, right, I'm going to just take some time to do some deeper stuff for me. And that's
Yeah.
um, when I started looking into other things, the family constellations thing I learned, and then going back into the EFT has been a total
Yeah.
game changer. And just having the space that you've held, because obviously in the academy, and you're doing all of the practices and the
Yeah.
demonstrations and everything, and when you turn up to a class, there's always something that
Yeah.
links with you with somebody else, so you're borrowing all the benefits of that, and you're just
Yeah.
shifting and clearing so much for yourself. And I think that's the only way to do it,
Yeah.
is to actually embody it and to practice it, so you've got that lived experience. But I
100%.
think, going back to what you were saying before, there is a lot of like, not wanting to go into like bitching, but it's just a fact that there is a lot of things out there where people will talk the talk but not actually walk the walk. And I think you can tell when somebody truly does walk the talk, and you do that.
Well, thank you. It's a really good point. And I think, if I go back to my beginning of my journey, and it's been a long one, when I first started learning EFT, the first two times I did it with the same person, but it was within an organization. Then he branched out on his own. He was a founding like trainee with Gary Craig, and he's really brilliant. Hello, Peter Delves, if you're watching. It's nice to chat with Kaz about you, because you are fantastic. And then I decided to train with a couple more people, because I love to get different people's views on things. And some of it was more energy based and some of it was more clinical. And so I've threaded all this together. But what I did find was that there was nowhere that had sort of ongoing practice, and then all the supervision included. And so actually, even though I'd done loads of training, when I first came out of it, I didn't feel confident in terms of handling whatever came up and having different practices with different scenarios and things like that. And so I thought, when I was setting this up in the very early days of doing this, um, it's grown, and it's grown arms and legs, and it's turned into something that I couldn't possibly have dreamt of, really. But I always wanted to provide practitioners and students with the things that weren't around for me, And so, no disrespect to anybody, and I just thought my learning style is one where, and I seem to attract people where they need to kind of do this, learn a bit, do a bit of the theory, learn a bit, watch it, have a go, practice with somebody else, and then feel confident and hone the skills. And so I thought, right, how can we do that? And so that's what we do in the academy now. There's a little bit of self-learning, because you need to know the theory. You come to the practice pod, you cut your teeth, because it's a safe space to do so, and I'll guide you as we go. And then you have a go with your practice partner, and then you submit your recording for assignment. And I just think it's a really nice layered way to grow and develop, like you say, because the embodiment of the tool is really important to me. I want people to go out of the gates feeling like they can handle anything that comes up, even if they don't have the answer, they can hold it. And I think that's the most important thing, because I didn't feel like I could initially. And I think, the more I do this, the more I am convinced that safety is the way forward. So it's just, I I see loads of itty bitty tools out there, and I think they're all fantastic. But actually, what humans seem to need is a process of decompress and feel safe. and kind of creep up on the issue without overwhelming them. And yeah, so it's just nice. It's nice to have you in the academy as well, because you are already so skilled at this, and so it's lovely to watch you with other practitioners in the practice pods, and you still get something out of it, and so do they. And like, it's just a lovely unfolding. And I love what you said as well about no kind of hierarchy, because that's the way that I work the academy. Is yes, okay, I'm teaching you, but actually I call it, like the murmuration effect. We rise together. I don't believe anybody's at the top. I don't believe anybody's at the bottom. There's no such thing. And that means there's no competition. It just means that we're all here learning together. I'm teaching you the tool, but actually you've got total free reign to bring your intuition into it once you know the core things of how to keep people safe. And yeah, that was my vision, I guess. And it's kind of grown as we've gone along, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's probably why we're quite synced with that, because
100%.
there's got to be something in that. What's the word I'm looking for? There's something about the word's gone. It's because now I'm doing that thing. If you've said murmuration, and my mind won't go away from murmuration.
That's amazing.
I'm just going murmuration, murmuration in my head. Start talking about something else and it'll come.
Yeah. So you've got the retreat going on.
Yeah.
Tell everybody watching, in case they don't know, how else can they work with you if they want some help? Like, where are you based? What do you do? Where can
Yeah.
they find you?
Yeah. Yeah. So the retreat's going on. So that's in November, and then one in February as well. But if other than that, I can work online or in person, obviously, if you're local to me. And yeah, I can do so much online. I can do the psyche. Actually, I think the psyche works better sometimes in person. And how that works is because it's working with energy testing, it's working with the muscle testing.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes when you're what we call in surrogation with somebody and with their system, I just do it using a pendulum. And so you can still see what's going on, but there's some connection there.
Yeah.
And that's worked really, really well, because you can work with anything with
Yeah.
that. Pretty much like the EFT, that's working with both sides of the brain, so you're getting in a whole brain state.
Yeah.
And then I kind of do, like, people tend to come, so if they were in person, they'll say, can I just have a Kaz special? Because it's whatever the mix is of what I've got,
Like going down the chippy, innit? Can I have a Friday night special with a bit
Yeah,
of that?
a little bit of that, bit
Love it.
because sometimes you just don't know what you need.
Yeah.
So just off at I've got a free like Cover and Connect session where people can see, because I need to know what it is that you want. So if you're wanting some relaxation, we can do kind of the nice soft energy stuff. If you're at the point where you're like, right, I need to get something shifted, then we can do that. If you wanted to
That's
do
what I'm
something
thinking, isn't it? Like, help, I need something shifting, please. Get in there.
yeah, definitely. And then like as well, you've got the thing of like where you've tried everything,
Yeah.
and then the family constellations comes in, because then this is like, it might not be something that you're consciously aware of. You might not know. It might not have started with you.
Yeah.
It
And if
might
you
have
don't, you don't
started
know
way
what
back.
you don't know, right? So how
Hmm.
powerful is that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And the great thing about that, and I'm loving doing it, because I've just done another like observation thing last week, and what's great is that the people that are showing up for it, and that's what I was going to say before, and I knew it would come back,
Yeah.
is the thing of the people, the tribe, the people that you're attracting are those people that, is particularly for this retreat in November, and for people that I work with, tend to be people who know that this isn't the way that life's supposed to be. They know that it can't be about competition, and we're meant to be in community, and we're meant to be together and supporting each other, and that actually everybody's got a gift, and if we all just lived to that gift and did what we're supposed to do, everybody would be happier.
Yeah.
But there's all of these these parts of us that we reject because of shame or guilt, and it's not even ours a lot of the time. So there's a lot of stuff that can come from this, and the great thing about the family constellations is that everybody benefits because we are all interconnected, because we all have family systems that have similar kinds of stories.
Yeah.
So even if you're showing up and you're representing an energy for somebody else's system, you're getting healing for your system as well, and then obviously for
Yeah.
the collective. So it's super powerful stuff, and what it does as well is bring back that human element,
Mm.
because we've all been victims, we've all cocked up, we've all been perpetrators.
Yeah.
You know, it talks about the balance of give and take, and how
Yeah.
many of us struggle with that.
Mhm.
Yeah, all of the stories, all of the stuff. I mean, everybody talks about mother wounds and father wounds and all of that stuff, but you know, it goes deep. And I think if you go into the deep stuff, nobody likes doing it, right?
Yeah.
Like you were just saying, sometimes you need to sneak in, and it's that safety. That's the element.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is once you've got that, and you decide to that it feels okay for you to even consider,
Yeah.
touching on it and exploring it,
Yeah.
then there's such a freedom that comes with that,
Yeah.
because you're letting go of all of the stories, you're letting go of everything that was. You stop trying to figure it all out and intellectualize it, and you start feeling it.
Yeah.
And once you're feeling it and you're letting it move, that's when it's horrible to start off with. There's no way around it. You've got to feel the stuff
Yeah.
sometimes to get through, and not in a way of like having to actually go back and relive it all,
Yeah.
but just to acknowledge something's happened and something wasn't okay, or
Mm.
whatever it was,
Yeah.
so that you can move on.
I think that's a lovely way to put it, because it doesn't have to be about blame and shame and, getting arsy about stuff or upsetting yourself reliving things. For me, I think if I boil anything down, for me, it's about energy is designed to flow in, through, and out, and your emotions are energy. And when we're in a stress response, they get trapped in the body because the muscles and the fascia tighten up and the meridians get gunked up, and it gets stuck. And we often don't know that there's these layers and layers building up like silt at the bottom of a pond. And then we wonder why we wake up every day feeling like crap. And you just think, it's having the courage to look at what's going on and to sit in it, not knowing what's gonna happen, and be okay anyway. And I think that's why I'm sort of rejigging my stuff to help give you guys a framework so that you can help people feel okay to sit in that with you.
Mhm.
But I think for me, we have been taught to live cut off at the neck. So we're being taught to stay in our heads. If you analyze, if you think, if you're a problem solver, if you're, first in, last out, if you all of this stuff. I'm really proud to say that in my entire corporate career, I didn't once get a prize and get sent to Mexico with the chairman's club. And I'm proud of that, because I was not one of the ones that would work all weekend and that would work late into the night and that would get up at 5 o'clock and carry on working again. No, I wasn't in for that. And I don't agree with it. But my point being is that that is all part of the culture that teaches us, I think, to live from here up. And we're so unaccustomed to sitting with the duality of how things feel. And it's like you can be joyful and grieving at the same time. You can
Yeah.
be angry and happy at the same time. You can hold that in your body, but we're taught that it's one extreme or the other.
Mhm.
And I think we need to get back into like recognizing and feeling that nuance of emotion and frequency and being all right with that. And then, like you say, compassion and, self-forgiveness when we do have a crap day and, we might react out of sorts and stuff like that. And so many people beat up on themselves about it, don't they? And I think really we just need ways to help us feel better naturally, because when you can come back to yourself and when you're comfortable to sit in the body and be like, okay, I feel this way. I'm not going to die because of it. Like it's, and be able to shift it on out. You make space for the good stuff. You make space for what you do want to come in, for connection and love and peace and whatever. And I think that it's so simple, and our bodies were set up that way to be able to do it with all the systems we've got and the chakras and the meridians and everything. We've got our own biological chemical network set up, ready and waiting. We just need to remember how to use it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's
Yeah.
incredible when you start delving into it. So I've been meaning to ask you, and I know we talked about this a little bit beforehand. you've had a couple, well, I'm sure you've had multiple really deep experiences with energy work, but I think it's really good for other people to hear what kind of experience you've had with it. And I don't just mean, working with me, but in general on your journey. What do
Yeah.
you think might be like one or two profound examples of that?
Well, one that springs to mind is the very first Dr. Joe retreat I went to,
Yeah.
working with meditation and all of that. So obviously I'd read the books and stuff beforehand, and then I went to one of his 3 or 4 day workshops in Edinburgh. And I went, and it was interesting because there was a girl who went, who was a friend of Kate's, actually. I
Mm,
didn't know her though, but I knew enough from just the short time before. She ended up on the stage because she had such a profound healing experience.
mm,
Um, and I just decided that I was really like not doing well with gluten, and I was sick of it. Like, I really wanted a nice sandwich for me dinner.
yeah.
And I was like, right, I'm just going to go all in and heal this. And never had any issues since. Just went in, and in that meditation decided that was what was happening.
Wow.
So yeah, so that was a huge one. And then at the the week long retreat,
Mm,
um, because I've had lots of health stuff going on. I had like chronic migraine, I've had skin cancers, I've had endometriosis. So there was like a lot of stuff going on.
mm.
And I haven't had any skin cancers for the last, it's coming up to 10 years now.
Wow.
When I used to get them chopped off, like I used to go in and go like, "Are you making a clone of me somewhere?" Because every time I come, there was other bits
Got the
just
Kaz
chopped off.
collection in the cupboard.
Yeah, but then yeah, and I think that's also, you get into this work because I think when you're looking down the traditional route,
Mm,
sometimes there just isn't the answers there.
mm.
So you have to look into all of the, what they would call alternative, but it's the original medicine.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think sometimes, well, I know what I've found is that actually, well, this is my thinking on it right now, is that some of the extreme things that have happened, like a hysterectomy, having a hysterectomy,
Mm,
like now I know I probably didn't need that. There could have been another way to deal with that, but that maybe there's a way that I can support other people with that.
yeah.
But then the latest thing, which has kind of blown my mind a bit, is when we were in, I'm sure it must have been, I can't even remember because I was in it with you. And there was the thing with the pain that I was having with my ovaries, and I was like, I
Yeah.
haven't even got ovaries anymore. Where is this pain coming from? There's something there, and it's coming up, and I can feel it before every full moon, and I don't know, what was it, like a chasing the pain kind of
I
thing? I
think it
can't
was the
remember
Taste
what
of the
it was.
Pain practice. Yeah, one of the practice pods. Yeah.
Yeah. And because I do this kind of work, you're looking at like what emotions might be held there, where might it have come from,
Mm,
and all of that stuff. But it just came up and kind of snuck up on me in one of those sessions.
mm,
And you were like, right, let's deal with that. And because you had that safe space and it was a sanctuary for me,
yeah.
and because there was that connection to what you were saying, it being held in the body,
Yeah.
and being able to go there and to do the somatic stuff alongside, well, instead of probably
Yeah.
trying to figure it all out,
Yeah.
just like, this is what's happening, and I'm acknowledging it, and
Mm,
it's moved. And I would say there's probably, like, apart from the odd twinge, that must have been a good couple of months ago,
yeah.
and there's been nothing there. It's been, like, I would say 95% reduction.
That's massive, isn't it?
Hmm.
Goodness me, because I remember going back to that session. I remember you telling me about like how it impacted you and the pain level and things like that, and when it flared up. So that's really phenomenal. Kudos to you
Hmm.
for sitting in it and doing the work. But it never ceases to amaze me, and I think that is, for me, I call it like the secret side door of healing, because you've got all the top down stuff of the coaching and the analytical, and the therapy and the counseling and all of that, which is fab and needed and great. And we can analyze things to the cows come home, but we can get stuck there, can't we? And then those thoughts have their own emotions, and then we go off on a tangent and blah de blah. And then you've got the somatics, which is the sensations and what are you feeling viscerally and somatically. But I think when you connect the two, and you use the emotion. And because I remember, I won't go into specifics, obviously, but I remember some of the things you were saying to me about what it related to, and certain comments and certain past things and a few memories. And you pull all of those threads together. The crux of anything with us in the 3D meat suit is that anything that's going on in the present is related to the past. Everything. And there's an emotion that's seared in there somewhere into the nervous system. So when you're working on that and you're dissolving it and depotentiating that emotion and dissolving that neural pathway that kind of still links to the trigger, that's like going in the secret side doorway. So you are doing the top down and you are doing the somatic, but it's that blend of something else. I couldn't explain it to you really if I tried in tangible terms, but it just seemed to work, and you could see it in your face that something was just shifting, and then the conscious mind was like, "I don't really understand what's going on here."
Yeah.
It's gone, the
Right.
pain is gone, and I think on that day you were quite high on the
Yeah.
pain level, if I
Yeah.
remember rightly. It
Well,
was
it must have been,
aggravating.
because otherwise it's kind of like it's one of those where it's not all of the time, but when it's there, it's
Mm,
really noticeable, and it's really frustrating, obviously, because you kind of, if you go into the what your feelings are around what happened to you, that was a huge thing that
mm,
happened, and then it brought up a lot of guilt, really, because I feel like I betrayed my body by allowing that to happen.
gotcha.
you know
Yeah,
and maybe in hindsight I
and
could have gone back and changed that. So there was those
yeah,
feelings of guilt and frustration and
yeah,
shame, probably as well, would come up on a monthly basis pretty bad, and then
yeah,
be like, I went through all of that for nothing because I've still got this pain. But actually it's the energetic thing that's still there and still trapped in the fascia and in the system. And yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's just incredible. It never ceases to amaze me what goes on with this stuff, and I'm however 10, 15 years in, and every time somebody gets a big shift like that, including myself, I'm just like, "Oh my god," just love hearing about it. Thank you for sharing that. That's really
Yeah.
cool. And I think I had a similar one, and I'd been anxious most of my childhood and teen years and early 20s and all the rest of it, and I'd had medication, I've had counseling, I've had all those things, and nothing really seemed to work because it wasn't a serotonin imbalance. It was energetic, right? So the SSRIs were not doing anything. In fact, they were making it worse for me. Um, and then I found tapping, and it was like the only way I can explain it is, when you get goggles and on and you drop into a swimming pool and everything just goes quiet.
Mm.
And you look up and you can see the surface of the water, and it's like, or even in the sea, and everything, the world around you just goes quiet. It was quiet in my head for the first time in I don't know how long, decades probably. And I thought, there's something
Yeah.
in this. And then I tried it on chocolate cravings, and it stopped me reaching for a bar of chocolate. And I was like, okay, now I'm onto something, because if I can stop that freight train, it felt like a runaway train, when I used to get the cravings and stuff. If I can stop that, then there's something in this. And then I did a few sessions with the tap-in solution, bought their weight loss program and the money program and all the rest of it, fell in love with it, and just did the training. And then I think I was back within about 18 months to do the trainer's training because I just loved it so much. And it's just been a never ending, like, one after the other, of just discovering things and piecing it all together, to get the best out of
Yeah.
it. Um, yeah, it's a fabulous journey. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is there anything else that you want to tell people about at the moment? Anything else you've got going on? Um, or anything you feel is important for people to know about energy work?
No, if anybody is interested in the Elevation Soul Sanctuary for November, I've got a Zoom tomorrow. They'll be able to find that on the page. So they can ask any questions, or they can obviously message anytime, but there'll be a Zoom there about that. Um, but yeah, I think really just whatever level you're at, wherever you are, if you want to have a chat, and see how
Mm,
I can help, because I can just do that, the bit where you just need a bit of a or I can do the
mm.
kind of what's going on here stuff as well. So yeah.
And you do that so beautifully as well. For anybody, wondering, "Oh, this sounds really good." I have sessions with Kaz when I'm like, "Oh, I can't get it myself," and I know she can get into all the nooks and crannies. And so she'll do a session with me, and there might be a card or two involved. There might be some Psych K, there might be some energy clearing, there might all sorts of things. The violet flame, you know, I don't even know half the time, because when we get in a session, I sort of put my phone to one side and I'm gone, and I just go to a different dimension, I'm fairly sure, at least for a little while. But Kaz has a beautiful, beautiful way of being very curious about what's going on for you, but still be in that safe space. So she doesn't lose herself in trying to find it and overanalyze. She's very, very with you, and you feel very safe and like co-regulated by her energy. So if you are looking for some help, if you're in the Northeast or you want to do it online, she is fantastic. I work with Kaz myself. I can't recommend her highly
Thank
enough.
you. Yeah, I think that's the
Yeah, well,
unbind is a good kind of mix of them all, because that's the one I think you're thinking of, where it's like a little bit of a card reading, bit of this
yeah,
releasing, the card removal thing,
yeah.
and energy work as well. So it's always a good one, because people will just be like, I know there's something here, but I don't quite know what it is, and it just, yeah, it's a good little session.
Do you know what? Do you have another 2
Yeah,
minutes
of
to
course.
just for me to give that example of that? The last unbind session that we did, I forgot that's what it was called. Um, I was having an issue with, or we were having an issue with, uh, two of our neighbours in the village, and it was really quite uncomfortable. And we did a session, Kaz and I, and there's not been anything since, nothing
Right.
at all. And what surprised me was about sort of seeing ourselves as what we needed out of the situation, rather than the blaming and the discomfort around it, and what was actually going on, or what we thought was going on, the stories we were telling around it was like, about, I think it was inner child you brought in or something like that, or some version of the person, of them and of me. And it was just like, actually, I get to send love to this person, it doesn't have to be awful. And I came out, I had a cry, I came out, I had a cup of tea, I felt completely different. And I swear to you, everything's been peachy since
Wow.
then.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, it's just really unbelievable, because it doesn't just work with
Yeah.
you, does it? Energy is everywhere. We're all energy, and it flows through all of us all the time. So we're made of it, and it's flowing through us, and we're in it, we're immersed in it. You can't get
Mhm.
away from it. So your energy, when you change it, it ripples out through the field and it impacts other people. And I think that's one of the unsuspecting parts of energy work, that people just don't realize how
Yeah.
powerful that is. For me, all regulation starts with you, right? You regulate yourself, that ripples out into the field. And if you're a space holder, if you're a coach, a healer, another helping professional of any kind, it is critical that you do that work on a regular basis, and do it with somebody who is safe and can co-regulate you. Because if you can't hold a safe session for someone, they're only going to get bare minimum symptom soothing out of it, right? They're not going to get the full
Yeah.
shebang, because the co-regulation piece and the safety of the
Mhm.
container's not there. But you are phenomenal at that.
Thank you.
So I'll be forever grateful for that, because that was a really crappy
Yeah.
time. It was not very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is, and it's not to get into like, um because I know there's a few instances where people are kind of like, oh, you're saying that there's only me, I can change, and that I might have to play a part in what's happening with me and take some responsibility. But no, actually,
Mm.
it's because of this, that, the other, and you get caught in that cycle of, it's got nothing to do with me, all of this stuff is happening to me. But it's not that you're denying that all of these things happen. It's just like, if I look at
Mhm.
this from a different perspective, and I look at what I can change
Mm.
within me, because that's truly all you can change. You can't, there's no way you can change anybody else. And we try for decades and decades, and it just doesn't
Mm.
work. So you've got to
It's
pull it
fine.
back to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. It's been so nice having a chat with you. And I will say, like, I'm going on this retreat in November, and I cannot bloody wait, honestly. What are the dates again? 21st to
Yeah.
28th, isn't it? I think. So if anybody's interested in coming, I have put the link in the comments. It's for Kaz's Facebook page, for the Urban Zen Facebook page. I tried to paste it in for Urban Zen sorry, for the Soul Sanctuary retreat, but for some reason it wouldn't do it. So let me see if I can just do that again before we wrap up. Is it going to do it? Drum roll. No,
No.
it's not doing it, but never mind. I will come and drop it in when this finishes, and then we'll answer any questions if we see them, in and around social. If you are interested in the retreat, as Kaz said, in her Urban Zen Facebook page, she's got an event for a chat about it, a Zoom about it tomorrow night. Get yourselves along to that. And if you do come, we'll get to meet in real life as well. Yay! I'll wait to give you a hug,
Tell us
madam.
about it. It's going to be great.
Oh, I can't wait. Right. Well, this has been lovely. Thank you for spending the time with me.
I'll let you get off and mark my 74 assignments I've sent over.
I'm on it.
Thanks.
Have a lovely day, darling. I will